how to remove hard inquiries in less than 24 hours. Yes, you heard that right. Do you need to increase your credit score fast and you have all of these inquiries just dragging your credit score down? Well, you are not alone. I'm going to show you exactly how to get those bad boys right off of there so you can get that credit score that you are looking for. Let's go.
Noel. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, no, you need to do it better. Well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm going to share with you the true way to really get this done, used by my students today, and it is still working. I'm going to share with you the biggest trap to avoid that will get your credit score flagged. I'm going to tell you how to make sure that does not happen to you. And last but not least, if you stay to the end, I'm going to share with you a trick that I just learned this year that is working like magic. So let's talk about personal credit. So obviously you're watching this video, you know that hard inquiries are probably lowering your credit score. But when it comes to personal credit, some of you guys may know, some of you don't, but I'm going to break it down for you. There are 3 credit bureaus when it comes to personal credit. You have Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. And all 3 of those credit bureaus are different. They're 3 different companies that will report all of the information that is sent to them from different lenders, and they will compile a score. All of your trade lines, such as your credit cards, your mortgages, your auto loans, even your student loans, will report on your personal credit report and offer you a score based on how well you've paid those people, how well you've managed your accounts, and the different types of accounts that you have. It is a very crazy thing because most people do not know how credit works. And in fact, most people could never tell you how to get a perfect credit score because this is a proprietary model that these companies use and they would never share it. It's this crazy algorithm that none of us absolutely know, but we've learned so much over the years that I can tell you some tips and some tricks, and especially on how to get those inquiries moved and how to keep a very good personal credit score no matter what your situation is. So let's get into that part. So the first step when we're talking about getting hard inquiries removed, we got to talk about the difference between hard inquiries and soft inquiries. Some of you guys, if you're watching this video or listening to this, you may already know what a hard inquiry is, but for those of that you don't, I'll quickly tell you the definition. So when you apply for credit with a company, whether it be an auto loan, a credit card, or whatever, if they pull your full credit report, it will result in a hard inquiry. So if they go to Experian, TransUnion, or Equifax and they say, hey, I want to see Jane Doe's credit and make sure and see if she applies, it is going to show in a section on your credit report as inquiries. Those are hard inquiries. However, if someone just checks your credit profile without actually pulling the full report, that is what we call a soft inquiry. That means they did not pull your full credit report, they did not have your full social security number usually, and it does not result in an inquiry on your credit report. It is a soft pull. And in many cases, you can get approved for loans, for credit cards, and all different types of things without resulting in a hard inquiry. There's tons of companies that will do what we call a soft pull to see if you qualify and give you loans or proceeds based on that. Sometimes they'll do a soft pull to say, hey, it does look like you're pretty qualified, and then do a full pull. And then there's companies that will never do a hard inquiry. They will use the soft pull and that credit inquiry and that profile to determine if you meet their general guidelines and lend to you based on that. But we're talking about hard inquiries, so let me tell you a few things about hard inquiries that you really need to know. When it comes to hard inquiries, why so many people are worried is because too many inquiries on your credit report can lower your credit score, and it can prevent you from getting new credit. For example, I'll tell you about a secret rule that most people do not know about. It's called the 524 rule, meaning for certain companies like Chase, for example, okay, they do not want you to have more than 5 inquiries in the past 24 months for credit, okay? And if you have more than that, in some cases, they will decline your request for loans right off the top. They will not lend to you, okay? So it can be very detrimental to you to have too many inquiries on your credit report. Additionally, if you go, for example, to buy a car and you go into the car dealership and they shop your credit report to all of these different lenders to see who will lend you a car, lend you money for the car, that can result in tons of hard inquiries on your credit report. And unfortunately, you can expect to lose about 5 points for every single hard inquiry that you have where you did not get approved for the loan. Now, do not ask me how they know if you didn't get approved or not, but they know, all right? So they do, and you will typically lose about 5 points. I'll share with you really quickly a story that happened to me a few years ago. I went into a car dealership to buy a car. They shopped my car, they shopped my credit all around to all these different lenders, and I ended up losing 35 points on my credit, okay? And that's really a big deal. If you have, a credit score, just for example, of just 700, now they've taken 35 points off of your credit. That is a lot, guys. Now you are now in the 660s, okay? You're not even in the upper echelon of credit. You really need to be over 700 or at least over 680. And I literally went and bought a car, had a credit score over 700, and literally left that car dealership with a credit score less than 680. Oh my gosh, was I devastated when that happened to me. So now, let me tell you how to get those bad boys off your credit report. Same way I did. So go ahead and make sure you like this video if you are loving this content. I'm spilling all the beans with you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click that little notification bell so you do not miss any of this content that I'm bringing to you. And more importantly, this is a very important video. Please make sure you are sharing it with everyone you know. This is information that everybody should have so that we can win this credit game. So now let's talk about how we are going to get those removed. Here's what I did, because the process is a little complicated, but it's absolutely free, and it's something that you can get done on your own without paying anybody to do, okay? So now let's first talk about a concept that you need to understand. When it comes to inquiries, you have to understand that the burden of proof is on the person that reported the information. For example, the person that reported that they had an inquiry, the burden of proof for them to prove that it is you and your credit report and they had the authorization to pull your credit is on them, okay? So just think about that for a second. So there's a way that if you feel like you shouldn't have all of these inquiries, you feel like you don't recall them, you feel like these are not mine, these are not justified, whatever the situation is, you can go ahead and you can write a letter to get those removed, okay? But before you do that, because I'm gonna tell you exactly where to get the letter, and where to send it, I'm gonna first tell you, you need to do a couple of things. Because like I said, the burden of proof is on the lender, on the person that, put the inquiry up there and reported that information. You need to know that, okay? And you need to know what happens. Because you know that, here's how we navigate around the game. When you dispute that you want to have these inquiries removed, okay, you are not disputing directly with the lender. You're not going to say, hey, Chase, take that inquiry off. You are going to go to the credit bureaus. You're going to go to Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, wherever the inquiry is, and you're going to send a letter to get those removed. But before you send that letter to those 3 credit bureaus to have those inquiries removed, you need to make sure that the information where they're going to go check is frozen. So here's the real secret. Those three credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, they usually go to a couple of different companies to see if this information is accurate. One of them is called Sage Stream, okay? And you can go there absolutely free. And what you can do is go ahead and freeze your account with them, freeze your credit report with them so that people cannot access that information. It's absolutely free for you. Sage Stream. The next one is LexisNexis. And this is a company that, reports all of the public information. They actually do criminal reports, they do credit reports, they do all different types of background reports to make sure people are who they say they are. But you can actually freeze your account with them. So then when you go ahead and you send this letter, they're not going to be able to access or verify your information with them. And this is how you can easily get these hard inquiries removed. So you want to go ahead and freeze those accounts, and then you're going to go to the Fair Credit Act. They have a website. This is through the government, the United States government, and they have a letter that you can use to dispute anything that you feel that is inaccurate or error on your credit report. And it is a letter because it's a section of the law called Section 604. And that is what you will use to send to those credit bureaus in order to get those inquiries disputed or removed if they cannot verify them. It's just that simple. You want to make sure, though, you send that Form 604 via USPS mail, United States Postal Service, and you also want to make sure that you send it certified mail. All right. You also want to make sure you do not sign the letter. This is not for you to sign and send it. You want to put your name, you put your information, and you put the accounts that you are disputing, and that is it. Do not sign that letter because you do not even want them to have your signature on file. All right, guys? So you submit that letter, and if they are not able to verify that those are truly inquiries that you initiated, they will have to be removed from your credit report. Just that simple. I have spilled the tea, guys. Okay, so I have created an actual checklist. This is a fast little cheat sheet for you guys. There is a link in the description box below for a free download, Noelle's free download on how to fix your credit, how to get these reports removed. I give you all of it right below in a checklist, absolutely free. I just want to make sure you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. To your success.